Hey, if you've been following my social media, Instagram and Facebook the last couple of days, you've probably seen that I shared a few posts on something that's happening in Kentucky, Wilmington, Kentucky, at Asbury College, Asbury University, and it's a revival that's happening right there. And most of the posts that I'm seeing, that I'm getting on my timeline, are very positive about it, which is great. But I know there's a lot of critique as well globally as to what's supposed to be happening right there. However, my take on this revival is it's very positive. I mean, what I've seen on those posts, I wish I could be there to experience it firsthand. But what I'm seeing right there is young people just on their knees, repenting, seeking the face of the Lord, worshiping together. It's a chapel service of an hour that happened a week ago and kept on going ever since. I mean, if that's what's happening right there, if there's young people that are staying there for like a whole week, probably they're getting some sleep, but they're streaming back to this auditorium. Something is taking place. Revival is happening. I mean, with all the distractions, everything that's going on. I mean, this is a true revival. So I'm really excited about it. And what I love about it is that it's not on it's not about names like the big name preachers or worship bands. In fact, I saw this post today that there's this well-known worship leader that reached out to the school. I'm like, hey, I can help lead worship. And then the response of the college was, you know, sorry, we've got it covered. We have worship covered by our students. No problem. And so it's not about the big name preachers, it's not about the big name worship bands. It's really about this move of God, God's tangible presence just coming down in that auditorium with I don't know, 1,000 people that can sit there, and then the overflow rooms that are being filled right now as well. And so it's a sovereign move of the Lord, a move of God happening in this place. And what's interesting, by the way, is that Asbury is not a place; it's actually the name of a man, one of John Wesley's preachers. John Wesley was one of the people that basically stirred what is now called the Methodist revival in England and also in the U.S. And Asbury was one of the guys that was being sent to the U.S. to preach the gospel to, especially to the outside areas, to where the frontiers were. And it wasn't called the U.S. back then, obviously, but so this Asbury guy was a fireball. He was a real preacher of the gospel. And this guy, he started, I don't know if he started the college, but that's what the college is named after. And now the same thing is happening again. I mean, the one, true God who by his spirit set this one man, Asbury, on fire. He's setting these students on fire that can change their nation and that can change the world. And in fact, 53 years ago, I need to say, in the days of the Jesus movement, which was a big revival happening back in those days when the sexual revolution was taking place and all these other things were happening in the world. Some young people were being put on fire, hippies and whatever. I mean, even the messianic movement in Israel that we're connected with, many of those older leaders, they got saved during the Jesus movement back then. But now God is doing it again at Asbury Revival, 50 years after. And I believe that we, as the church in Western Europe, need to be hungry for a similar revival to happen at our Bible colleges, at our universities, even our secular universities, that young people will turn from the oppressive propaganda that's being poured over them, whether it's LGBT propaganda or other things, all the stuff that's being dumped on our young people. We need to say no, but it's it's so important that we actually seek the face of the Lord, that instead of just not knowing where to turn, that they know where they need to turn, and that's Jesus, and that is his kingdom, and make sure that his kingdom is being manifested in their lives, in our nation, in this part of the world. God is up to something great. God is up to something really new in this part of the world, in the Netherlands as well. So my prayer is that this revival that's starting in Kentucky is now spreading all over the U.S., and it's going to spread to Western Europe as well. God is going to do a brand new thing in our day, in our season, and he's going to capture the hearts of young people who are going to change this part of the world. And so let's pray for that. Let's pray that this move of God won't be stopped, that it won't be hijacked by big names or by movements or denominations or other things that are just squeezing the life out of it. But let's make sure we keep praying that this genuine move of God will continue and will be spread over the whole world. May God bless you, and we'll see you soon.